Okay, now I am in the role of the presenter, and the title of this talk is Perspectives for Industry 4.0 in Construction. It will report a little bit on the work that we are doing, and it will slightly overlap with what Professor Scherer has been saying a few minutes ago. I'm wearing three hats right now. One hat is, of course, as a professor at the Faculty of Civil and Geodetic Engineering in Ljubljana. The other hat is I'm the head of the working group on Construction 4.0 at FIEC. This is the European Federation of Construction Industry. And the third hat is fairly new. We are partners in a project called DigiPlace, and I will explain some of the ideas or some of the issues, problems that this project is supposed to solve. A brief outline of this presentation is, I want to very briefly, because Reimar did an excellent job in explaining that, explain how we understand Industry 4.0, what are its four aspects which are crucial, and then I will be focusing on one element of one of the aspects, and that is the platforms. What some people believe in the European Commission is that Industry 4.0 solutions will be delivered through platforms, that the delivery mechanisms, the business mechanism, the end-user mechanisms will be platforms. And this is what the DigiPlace project is about, and I will explain a little bit what is behind that idea. Professor Scherer explained this. So this is the fourth industrial revolution. The first one was about mechanization, the second about electrification, the third about automation, and the fourth about networking. I can skip very quickly through these slides. Interestingly, there seems to be a lot of overlap between the current state of things, Industry 3.0, where we have all this automation, we have computers, we have simulations, we also have some robots, etc., etc. But still there is something that they call, actually they invented the concept in Germany, which is called Industry 4.0. And if I would be trying to explain that in one or two slides, this and the next slide would be it. The essence of the Industry 4.0 approach of the cyber-physical systems is that you somehow try to achieve the merging of the physical and of the digital. What exists currently in the so-called Industry 3.0, what exists in BIM, in computers, in everything, is that you have one world which is digital, which is inside computers, which is informational, which can be on paper. I mean, the blueprints that you take to the construction site. And then you have the material, the stuff that is going on in the construction site. And it is the human person, it is a person that is doing the interfacing between the two. So we have all this beautiful digital design, but then somebody at the construction site is reading that and is building according to these designs. Or we could have some, I will not go into that. The essence of Industry 4.0 or of these solutions would be to try to automate that, to take the human out of this interfacing between the material and the physical. And of course, we are developing, or a lot of technologies have been developing to do that and to assist with that. There are several aspects through which you could look at Industry 4.0. How it works, what it offers to the consumer, what it means for an industry, what it means for a business. How it works, there are 6 main technologies: the Internet of People, the Internet of Things, cloud computing, the digital twin technology, robotization and computer-aided manufacturing, and the cognitive computing and artificial intelligence. And I think we will have papers across this topic number 2 at this conference that will look into the details of each and every of these technologies. For example, the colleague that will speak after me, Vlado Stankowski, he will focus a little bit on this area of cognitive computing. And Reimar was discussing a little bit or focusing a little bit on the digital twin idea. As far as the consumer perspective of Industry 4.0 is concerned, consumer gets custom, individualized product. This is nothing new for construction. Smart products and connected products, products that are connected with each other. The industry is digitized and digitally integrated. Digitize, it means that you use digital tools to design, manufacture, and operate the facilities. Integrate, it means that you integrate the information, but not only the information in BIM model or multi-models or model views or something like that. You also integrate the processes, you integrate knowledge, and most importantly, you integrate the people. And there are new ways to do business. For those of you who are from construction companies or from companies that are involved in design and construction. Products as services. You don't sell tangible things anymore. You sell services that you use these tangible things with. Platforms, this is what I will focus in the rest of my presentation. And finally, somehow the shift of value, the shift of businesses is moving from selling material stuff or selling services to selling intellectual property and to selling data, information, etc., etc. So these things are starting to become a product. How this will be delivered? There is a belief that strategically the European Union has a chance to compete with the United States on the internet in a certain area. And that area are platforms, but not consumer platforms where we are all using American products like Facebook, like Android, like Windows, but industrial platforms. So using the same kind of principles, but for business-to-business relationships. I was mentioning FIEC, European Federation of Construction Industry. They understand that Construction 4.0 is their branch of Industry 4.0, and we use this term to refer to digitalization of construction industry. BIM is a central concept, but there are others. We see it in a broader way. The European Commission sees digital industrial platforms as a bridge between technological building blocks and industrial applications. They believe it should be data-driven. A lot of data will be created in the Industry 4.0 kind of environment. Professor Scherer was introducing all these sensors that buildings, bridges, cars, highways, and so on will be equipped with. New business models that will be focused around data, intellectual property rights, matchmaking between consumers and providers, new and innovative products and services, etc., etc. Things should be smart. Now we are used to having smartphones. The idea is to have smart cars, smart buildings, smart bridges, smart highways, etc., etc. In the same way smart as the phone is smart and is trying somehow to do in a personal way what you should be, what you need. Of course, when we say platforms, the term is almost as old as the internet. We have been doing platforms since we have been doing websites. You did a website that would connect a couple of people, you would call it a platform. These are the so-called networking platforms. So platforms where somehow people come together or businesses come together, create a certain directories of who does what, etc., etc. There is an existing operational construction technology platform in just about every European country, including in Slovenia. But the interesting new elements of this platform approach to inventing, creating, selling, and using new technology are the two other kinds of platforms, the business platforms and the technology platforms. The business platforms are those that are enabling the matchmaking between customers and performers. Think, for example, about Uber. It matchmakes between drivers and people who would like to be taxied somewhere. Amazon, those people who sell, those people who buy. These are the business kind of platforms. And then you have technology platforms, platforms that allow providers to develop some services using some infrastructure that is pre-existing. And for example, Android is a very good example of such technological platform. It provides a platform that a lot of businesses can put apps on, including the Attentify app that is used to facilitate this conference. The closest in the construction sector to this technology platform approach is, for example, the Autodesk 360 or the Nemetschek's BIM Plus. So they're trying to create a platform on top of which developers will do something with respect to digital twins and digital models. Platform business models are interesting because, I mean, it is in these last two where the innovation should happen. And it is those last two where we in construction should define, okay, so what are our platforms? What are the platforms for our industry? Business platforms and technological platforms. The rules, why platforms are so interesting, because the rules of the platform business are that they exploit what is called the networking effect. The more users, the more providers, the better. So the added value is in the number of everybody that is involved. And this is what we will be doing in the DigiPlace project, somehow defining the agenda of what and how the technological and business platforms for construction should look like, including the digital twins, including the sensors, including the processing, artificial intelligence, all the all the levels and all the technologies across all the various business plans. So to conclude, Industry 4.0 has been defined by German industry, by industry in general. You could call it a buzzword. It's another kind of fashionable topic to speak about at conferences. It's another fashionable topics that you can create research projects about. But it is an umbrella concept of all these great new things that you can do. It's a motivation for everybody. It's a motivation for researchers to try to do something new and build new stuff, bring new stuff together. And it is a motivation for the industry to try to modernize itself and find new ways of doing business. The platforms will be those who will facilitate and combine all these things together, through which Construction 4.0 will be delivered. But I think what is important is it should be the construction industry, the civil engineers, the architects, the structural engineers that should be defining that. It cannot be left to electrical engineers or computer science or mechanical engineers, etc., because we have some unique requirements that we need to take care about and that we are aware about better than others. It should be construction that integrates all that and not the other way around. So my message for the Ljubljana Declaration was, it is construction, not all these other engineering sciences, that should be delivering Construction 4.0. Thank you so much.